My name is Tara Ford, I am 30 years old, I live with my husband, Kane, he is 5 years older than me, we have a 5-year-old son. Today, I am at a wedding with my husband, the bride and groom are people my husband knows, but I only know them a little. The wedding is at a fancy hotel. Even though I know it's rude to think this, I wonder how much money the wedding costs. My husband said he wanted to talk to some people he knows at the wedding, so I went to the women's bathroom. When I was leaving the bathroom to go back to the ceremony, I heard some mean voices. Oh, look who is here, that broken, useless person, why is she here? What do you mean, Mom? Oh wow, you're right, why didn't we invite her? I felt like they were talking about me, they were not even trying to be quiet, they were not just saying mean things quietly, they were being very rude, but they didn't say my name. I didn't want to deal with people who say mean things, so I tried to leave quickly. Wait right there, you ugly thing. I think someone called me, but I didn't stop, my name is not you ugly thing. As I walked fast down the hall, I heard footsteps behind me, this scared me. They should have stopped when I didn't answer, why do they want to make a scene? While I was thinking this, someone suddenly grabbed my arm, they had run fast to catch me, their nails hurt my arm. I told you to wait, the woman said loudly, out of breath. I looked her up and down, then shook my arm free, she fell down like it was a big drama, making a loud cry, what a silly show. Another woman, who had been running after us, came up to help the first one. She said, Elle, are you okay? She is so rough. I guess this is what happens when someone with a low mind is raised. Then she looked at me angrily. I asked, what is this about? Who are you? She said, what, who am I? Have you forgotten me? You seem very selfish and rude. I asked, have we met before? She raised her perfect eyebrows and said, what's your problem? How dare you talk to me like that? If you forgot, I'll remind you, I'm your sister, Elle, remember? Even your bad memory should know that, and this is our mother, don't tell me you forgot your own mom too? I said, maybe someone with that name was close to me once. I tilted my head, I didn't want to take them seriously. They looked even more angry after I said that. Then two men ran over. Hey, what's going on? We heard yelling from over there. Elle, are you done getting ready? Oh wait, you're still in your regular clothes, hurry and change. Dad, Ron, this person, there's a stranger who crashed our wedding, please throw her out now, Elle said, pointing at me loudly. Who taught her that pointing at people is rude? The two men acted very differently when they saw me. The man called Dad opened his eyes wide, then frowned, looking upset. The man called Ron stood frozen, looking shocked, his face going pale. Why is she here? I can't believe I have to see her face on such a happy day, someone shouted. Right, she must have sneaked in by mistake, this is terrible, call security now. Hey, what are you saying? Watch your mouth, this person is, Ron yelled, his face pale. Watching him, I quietly said, so you really don't know anything, huh? No one heard my quiet words. Then someone new arrived. Tara, so this is where you were, I was looking for you, said my husband, Kane. Everyone turned to look at him, Kane looked a bit surprised by all the attention. Sorry, I meant to come back sooner, but I got caught up with some strange people, I said with a half smile and walked over to him. Kane blinked and looked around at the people around us, then he said, ah. It looked like he quickly understood what was going on, that's just like him. Elle, who had been looking at Kane with admiration when he appeared, quickly went back to glaring at me when I stood beside him. The two called father and mother still looked confused, like they didn't understand what was happening. Ron was clearly nervous, he was the first to speak. Drive, Ford, I'm really sorry, it looks like my wife was very rude, and I apologize to your wife too. Elle, come on, apologize. What, why should I apologize? She's the one who should be sorry, she crashed our wedding, I don't know how she even found out, but she's a disgrace to our family, we kicked her out long ago, we were never supposed to see her again. Family, huh? Kane said, sounding surprised, he looked back and forth between Elle and me. Then the man and woman who were called father and mother quickly spoke up. "Oh, Ron, sorry, you see. We have a useless oldest daughter. She's such a shame to the family, we couldn't even talk about her, we kicked her out 9 years ago." "Really? How did she even find out about Elle's wedding? What is she doing here? Is she trying to ruin Elle's big day?" "Exactly, she was a foolish girl who couldn't even get into college, just useless. After high school, she worked part-time jobs and sat around at home being a burden. She was like a leech, honestly, we should be praised for putting up with her until she finished high school. They just kept insulting me, but I stopped caring about what they said a long time ago. I learned how to stay calm no matter how cruel they were. Yes, on paper they are my family, that's what the records say, but the truth is, they only ever cared about my younger sister, who is 6 years younger than me. I was ignored for as long as I can remember. My dad came from a long line of doctors and ran a medical clinic. My mom worked there too, as a nurse. From the outside, we probably looked like a perfect family. But inside, it was full of bitterness and hurt. When I was little, I think I tried hard to be loved by them. I wanted to be seen, but then I heard the reason they gave for always picking my sister over me: "She's cute and you're not." How could anyone say that to their own child? I stopped hoping for anything from my family. Luckily, if I may say so, I was smart and liked studying, so I put all my effort into school, trying to find a way to leave home as soon as I could, but by then, my family had already decided I was the failure of an older sister. "Listen," my parents told me, "you're not allowed to go to college, you're useless, you'd never get in anyway. You'll start working after high school and give us money, that's how you'll pay us back for raising someone as plain and worthless as you. That's right, you've never been thankful. College money, maybe for Elle, but not for you, we won't spend another cent, your job is to serve this family for the rest of your life. Not that you could ever get a proper job," they added. They said all this during my final year of high school. By the way, I recorded that whole conversation, and I still have the recording. By the time I was in high school, I had started recording most of the cruel things they said to me, and all the unfair treatment. I didn't want to forget, or be told I was imagining it. Elle, my younger sister, looked down on me too. Our parents' constant favoritism made her feel even more confident in mocking me. "I'm going to be a doctor and take over Dad's clinic, I'll work hard for big sister's share too," she'd say, acting sweet. "Oh, how wonderful, Elle," our parents would say. "Yes, use your sister as an example of what not to be. Don't worry, Elle, you'll succeed. Yes, we'll support you no matter what, you're our pride and joy, unlike your sister." They would say all this while I was right there, clearly trying to hurt me. But I realized something, it was all an act. After high school, I worked all kinds of part-time jobs as a freelancer for about 3 years. I still lived at home during that time, even though my family acted like I annoyed them. They wouldn't let me move out, probably because they liked having me around to use when it suited them. But actually, I had secretly rented an apartment. They were always saying things like, "We won't forgive you if you do this," or, "We won't forgive you if you don't do that," but eventually, I realized something important: once I became an adult, I didn't need their forgiveness anymore. Of course, there were tough parts, like finding someone to sign as a guarantor for the apartment. Oh, and by the way, I underreported my income from part-time work, so I didn't have to hand over much money to the family. I also started investing little by little and slowly built up savings. Then, when my sister was getting ready for her high school entrance exams, I was kicked out of the house. The excuse, she said, "I can't focus on studying with her around." My parents planned to forgive me and let me come back after things calmed down, but I took that chance to leave for good. They must have been shocked that I, someone they thought couldn't do anything on her own, never returned, but I'm sure they stopped caring pretty quickly. They only ever cared about my sister anyway. It's been 9 years since then, huh? As I'm thinking all this, I notice that my sister and Ron, the groom, are arguing more and more. Oh, right, today is their wedding. So, they're the ones getting married. I did notice my sister's name on the invitation, but I thought it was just someone else with the same name. That's how little I think about this family now. I'm telling you, why are you defending that woman? I've said she's an intruder from the start. Just being near her makes the air feel gross. Kick her out. And I've been telling you, I invited them to the wedding. You even went over the guest list with me, remember? They already checked in at the front desk. They're official guests. You need to apologize for being so rude earlier. My sister and her fiancé keep arguing. I can't help wondering, should they really be fighting like this right before their wedding ceremony? While I'm thinking that, my dad suddenly looks at Kane, and his eyes go wide, as if something just clicked. Wait. Is he realizing who Kane is? What, Ford General Hospital, that huge place? You mean, he's the director's son? My mom's eyes also go wide in shock. The son of the hospital director. Suddenly, all their attention, my parents, my sister, and her fiancé, is on us. Kane gives a small, polite bow. Nice to meet you, I'm Kane Ford, this is my wife, Tara. Hello, I say, smiling gently and bowing as well. It's true, Kane's parents are both highly respected doctors who run a major hospital that's been around a long time. Kane is their only son and will take over one day. He's already a skilled doctor who works hard and is admired by many in the field. My parents just stare, mouths opening and closing like they don't know what to say, while I smile calmly. Then my sister's fiancé jumps in quickly, trying to recover. Oh, what a surprise, Drive. Ford's wife is my wife's sister, so we're family now. Drive. Alan here, thank you so much for seeing our son the other day. I stop him there. This man, Alan, my sister's soon-to-be husband, is also a doctor. He works at a university hospital and saw our son recently when he wasn't feeling well. That's all. Kane and Alan also seem to know each other professionally. It's clear Alan looks up to Kane. How's your son doing after my exam? He asks, clearly trying to make things less awkward. Please come to our hospital for the first test and we decided to get another opinion afterward, I say with a sweet smile. Second opinions are important, right? I keep smiling politely, and Alan goes completely still. It's obvious now, he sees my son as a special patient, maybe even as someone who could bring money or prestige to his hospital. That's why he's so eager to get him treated there, but to me, my son is not a prize or a paycheck, he's my child, and I won't let anyone treat him like that. So I turn him down, with a smile. Then I hear someone scoff. What is this? You're trying to act all high and mighty just because you married a doctor? You think that makes up for only graduating high school? Don't be ridiculous. Just because your husband's rich doesn't make you important. You're still the same stupid girl you always were, and you even have a kid. How sad, that poor boy, having a failure like you as his mother. That's enough, Alan snaps, trying to stop her. But Elle just glares at him, clearly thinking she's done nothing wrong. Then Kane turns to me and asks quietly, Tara, are these people really your family? No, they're not my family at all. Because real family doesn't scream at you over small accidents. They don't make you skip meals just for spilling something. They don't give you old, used clothes while buying new designer outfits for your sister, and then laugh when you look bad in comparison. They don't throw away your study books saying, you're too dumb anyway. They don't destroy your textbooks by soaking them in water. No. People who do those things aren't family. You're right, Kane says softly. Real family doesn't throw you out into the snow barefoot because you wouldn't lend a book. They don't lock you in a dark storage shed in summer and call it discipline. They don't sell your things behind your back or say you'll be their slave for life. Even our neighbors had noticed. They saw how differently I was treated compared to my sister. Some even started whispering about abuse. Eventually, many stopped coming to our family's clinic altogether, because no one wants a doctor who treats their own child like that. I'm honestly surprised no one reported them for child abuse back then. Now their clinic is doing poorly because of how they treated me, but they haven't even figured out that's the reason. It's kind of unbelievable. While I calmly explain the abuse I went through, Alan just stares at me in shock. Even my parents look stunned, like they can't believe I know about their clinic's failing business. That info came from my in-laws, by the way. Kane's parents were outraged when they found out what my family did to me, probably more upset than I was. They're warm, decent people, and so is Kane. They started looking into my old family's clinic, thinking it might be useful someday, maybe for this exact moment. Stop lying, we never did any of that. It's your own fault for being a failure, my sister screams at me. Then she turns to Alan. Don't believe anything she says, Ron. But it's too late. Alan is looking at her with disgust all over his face. If she had just let me walk away quietly, none of this would have happened. No, Alan says firmly, you're the one who's been lying. What are you talking about? You told me Ford's wife only finished high school, but she graduated from college, she even started her own company, she's the president, it's a medical food company that our hospital depends on. What, she's a president? My sister looks at me like she can't believe what she's hearing. My parents have the same shocked look. Liar, you never went to college, you only finished high school, are you saying you went to college behind our backs? Yes, I say simply, I was an adult, I didn't owe you any updates, you weren't really my family anymore. How dare you talk to your parents like that, we forbade you from going to college. And why would I need your permission? I answer flatly, my parents are grinding their teeth in frustration. After graduating high school, I worked a lot of part-time jobs and managed to save up quite a bit of money. I used part of it to pay for college. There were still things I wanted to learn, things I wanted to accomplish. Once I moved out, I was completely free. I could finally live my own life. That's when I met Kane, while I was in college and starting my own company. Thinking back on those days makes me feel a little nostalgic. Meanwhile, my sister stood there mumbling, her face pale. No. It can't be, she was the useless older sister who couldn't do anything. I thought she must have ended up in a gutter after we kicked her out. But instead, she went to college, she started a company, she married the heir to a major hospital? Then, her voice rose with desperation. I was supposed to be the one who'd live a better life. Why is she more successful than me? Why does she look so happy? I gave her a thoughtful look and said simply, good question. Then I smiled a little. Maybe it's because I kept working hard, no matter how unfairly I was treated. I didn't let it turn me bitter. And I got lucky too, I guess. I looked directly at her, and then I dropped the real shocker. Oh, and by the way, I heard you dropped out of middle school, is that true? The air went completely still. My former family, Alan, everyone froze in place. What are you even saying, who dropped out of middle school? My sister still had the nerve to try and deny it. But I kept my tone calm. Well, a certain aunt who's always been kind to me told me the story. You got overconfident. Thought you didn't need to study because you'd get into a fancy school no matter what. Then you bombed the entrance exams, barely wrote anything on the test, apparently. I tilted my head slightly, pretending to think. And after that? You threw fits and locked yourself in your room for a while. Didn't leave the house for years, right? Only recently started going out again. That was after our parents introduced you to drive, Alan, wasn't it? You only came out of hiding then, once there was someone you wanted to impress. As I said this, Alan's expression grew darker and more serious. In contrast, my parents and sister were steadily losing color in their faces, like life was draining from them. The aunt who told me all this is a distant relative on my father's side, a notorious gossip, really. But somehow, she always knew everything that went on in the family. We only met a few times when I was younger, but she'd always been unusually kind to me. After I left home, she even became my legal guardian for a while. You're lying, my sister shouted in a trembling voice. But I didn't stop. Oh, and that job you say you have, medical office clerk at the clinic, that's not true either, is it? You don't have the proper qualifications, so you're just doing basic errands and odd jobs. They can't legally assign real medical clerical duties to someone unlicensed, after all. At least they didn't cross that ethical line. Stop it, that's all lies, everything you're saying is a lie. I gave her a slight shrug. Is that so? I'm only repeating what I was told. Whether you believe it, or not, is entirely up to you. She spun toward Alan, as if grasping at a lifeline. But it was too late, his face showed a mix of disbelief, confusion, and growing disgust. You told me, and our parents, that you graduated from a prestigious women's university. That you got certified and were helping out at the family clinic. Was all of that just lies? That's academic fraud. You lied to me. It's not true, Ron, please, you're my husband, right? Believe me over her, she's just trying to ruin us. Alan didn't respond immediately. Instead, he looked her in the eye and calmly said, "Okay, then tell me the name of just one professor from your department." My sister's mouth opened. But no sound came out. She froze completely. That's not important right now," she mumbled. "Oh no, then I'll just call one of them," Alan said coldly. "My family is close with a few professors in that department, you know, actual social friends. They'll know whether someone named Elle was ever enrolled." He reached for his smartphone. "Stop, don't, there's no need to go that far." Her voice cracked with panic. "If you just trust me, that should be enough." My sister lunges for Alan's phone, snatches it from his hand, and hurls it to the floor with a loud crack. Don't try to verify anything, just believe me," she screams, grinding the phone beneath her heel like she wants to crush the truth out of existence. Her expression twists into something feral, almost demonic. Alan recoils in visible disgust. Our parents, looking utterly panicked now, rush to stop her. The wedding guests are whispering and pointing, venue staff are starting to gather. It's become a full-blown spectacle. Oddly, I feel detached from it all, like I'm watching a messy drama unfold on TV. Because that's all it is to me now, a stranger's drama. My family is my husband and my son, that's it. Well, I say lightly, turning to Kane, shall we go home? We gave the wedding gift, we've fulfilled our social obligation, right? Are you sure you're done, Tara? My husband asks softly, making sure I've said what needed saying, making sure I'm truly ready to walk away. I meet his gaze with a bright smile. I don't care anymore, let's go. Oh, actually, let's stop by the cake shop in the hotel lobby. I heard they have that ridiculously fancy cake. Sounds good, let's bring some home. Laughing together, hand in hand, we walk out of the wedding hall without looking back. Sometime later, I heard Alan was sued for exaggerating diagnoses and inflating medical bills. Shortly after, my parents apparently showed up at Kane's hospital, demanding to see me and him. Listen here, that woman, Tara, is our daughter, she owes us for raising her. You're the heir, aren't you? Your wife's family is in trouble, you have to help us. She turned out more useful than I expected, honestly, my mother supposedly added. Who would have thought she'd snag someone like you? We're your in-laws, that has to count for something. But it wasn't me or Kane who met them. It was my in-laws. My warm, dignified in-laws, the kind of people who understand true decency, and don't tolerate any less. What business do you have with our daughter? My mother-in-law asked coldly. My parents froze, frogs before a snake. Then they bolted. They tried a few more times to make contact, but by then, word had spread, their clinic, already struggling, finally shut down. No one in the medical community would hire them. Who wants to employ a doctor and nurse near retirement age with reputations in tatters? I felt nothing. As for my sister, I heard she and Alan divorced. I'm honestly surprised they lasted more than a few months. Being sued and fired tends to shake things loose. After that, she started chasing an even bigger cat, she married doctor over 20 years her senior. It didn't end well. The affair was exposed, his wife demanded compensation, a scandal erupted. My sister turned to our parents for help. And they disowned her. Called her a disgrace. Said she was no longer family. What happened to her after that, I don't really know. I heard rumors, nightclub work, poor health, even homelessness. But I'm not interested, not anymore. My time, my energy, my heart, are for my real family. My son's health issues were resolved with proper care and a correct diagnosis. No hospitalization needed, just the right medication, and love. I will protect him, I will protect us. Always.